other problem, part of the problem is it becomes a business. Because a lot of these women, they will then start. Do you know what an
Yeah,
OnlyFans is?
yeah.
Yeah, so they'll then start an OnlyFans, and so men will subscribe to get small messages from them, or to get individualized photos or videos from them,
Hmm.
and these women make an extraordinary amount of money,
Yeah.
and it's really quite shocking. So they're making, way more than they've ever made in their life doing this, but yet they're in a committed relationship with a man. And so the man has to deal with the fact that not only is his woman out there, like on display, but she's signaling that she's desiring better mates.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think your point about some developmental issue is relevant. We do have empirical data on attachment styles. So basically, there are these, they call them three different attachment styles, which is an oversimplification, but securely attached. So, do you tend to trust other people? You feel confident in a stable relationship. There's anxious attached, which is you're always worried your partner is going to leave you or cheat on you, or maybe you have a history of partners leaving you or cheating on you. And then there's what's called ambivalent attachment style, where there are people, both men and women, who they don't really want an intimate romantic relationship. They kind of avoid, if someone gets too close, they kind of push them away. And in studies of infidelity, the securely attached have the lowest rates of infidelity, and my guess probably the lowest rates of these Instagram posts or OnlyFans vocations. Whereas, and then the second is the anxious attached, but the most is, in terms of infidelity rate, is the avoidant attachment style. And so women with that avoidant attachment style are also likely to be high on narcissism and probably engage in that behavior. And also,
Could you please explain avoidant attachment?
yeah. So these are people who don't like close, intimate relationships, and so they avoid them and try to be. If it gets too close, they push them away. They want to maintain their independence, and so even if they're married, there's this distance. There's always this pushing away
Sound like me.
of the other person and of intimacy, psychological intimacy with that other person. And so these are, women who are more likely to engage in short-term mating and more likely to have affairs if they're in a long-term mateship.
Now, has there been studies done on those type of people? Is that because those women have experienced abusive relationships in the past and they're worried about being committed to someone because that person then starts to put restrictions on them and it gets very jealous and very mean to them?
It's a good question, and we don't know. So there's some speculation. So the dominant thinking, which I don't necessarily subscribe to, is that it really stems from the mother-infant attachment bond. So if you have like a mother or other parental figure who wasn't there for you, who was erratic and so you couldn't rely on them, then the notion is that the infant learners, they can't rely on other people, so they better do stuff by themselves or on their own.
That makes sense.
And the
I'm gonna pause it right there. But if you look at the society that we live in America, for the most part, you take breastfeeding away and you give them a bottle. You take which separates the mom and the child. You take that time away. Then you also put them down and you put them in front of the TV. You take that bond, which you have to entertain a kid and you have to show them and you have to, whether if it's mom or father, you take that bond away. So, I mean, if you ask me, that's the society that we live in anyway, which is it breaks the bond from the mom and the child and the dad and the child. It just breaks that bond. Because if you don't deal with the child after a long day at work, you don't want to feel like being bothered. You go isolate yourself. Now the kid's isolated. So the society that we live in already promotes, and it's that. So we're doomed.
The idea is that attachment style, which some claim gets fixed in infancy, then carries over into adulthood when you form romantic relations. And so the anxious or secure or ambivalent attachment style in infancy gets transported into adult. That's the theory anyway.
But that completely makes sense. If your parents were never around, or they weren't reliable, or they were shitty to you, yeah.
Yeah. The reason that I just want to add a note of an asterisk by that is that, yeah, there is a correlation. They do find a correlation between the infant attachment style and the later adult attachment style. But parents are also contributing genes as well as environment. And so it might be that the parents who themselves are kind of inconsistent, not there for the kids or whatever, and are off maybe having affairs on their own or whatever, transmit genes to their children that dispose them toward those styles, as well as an environment. And so studies haven't been done to try to disentangle the genetic effects versus these parental effects on attachment style.
Interesting. If you were going to study social media and its impact on dating strategies, one of the things that would be really fascinating is the amount of options. Like, if you're a single person today and you have an Instagram page where you're trying to present yourself as an attractive mate, one of the weirder things today is manipulation, right? Like, people are using filters, and they're using these deceptive tactics that change the shape of their body, change the shape of their face, the tone of their skin. I mean, it's really pretty extraordinary when you see what can be done with these filters. And so there's that, which is to signal to others that they're more attractive than they actually are physically. Then there's virtue signaling in the form of.
I'm gonna pause that. Manipulation tactics has been used since we've known it. If you have, if you look at like old movies and TV shows about how the Europeans used to wear that goddamn tight ass thing, with the little hip, with the big waist or whatever you want to call it, like, it made their figure look a certain way. Then over time, they look that way. Even the same. Well, this is kind of off topic. If you ever seen Asian dancers, like, I think it was like a lady that's like 90 or something like that. Her feet was like this because she used to always wear like tight shoes. Like I said, it's off topic, but she did that for a reason. She was dancing. That's what she did. That was her perception, whatever the case may be. Like, that's what she did. So when it comes to makeup, when it comes to dancing, whatever it is, we all do something for the most part. Either you enjoy dancing, or you enjoy this, or you enjoy that. If it's a crowd of people, you want to go over there, you want to look a certain way. Guys in the gym, guys with long hair, guys grooming themselves, all the things, it's for a mate for the most part. Sometimes you just do it to do it, but for the most part, or you just really, really enjoy doing it. But makeup, like, women can sit right here and say all they want, that makeup is for them and make them feel better. But if it was a bunch of women in a room and it was only a bunch of women and you never seen men, like, would you do makeup? We don't know. We would never know, because it doesn't matter. But for the most part, if you don't feel that you look a certain way, or you don't enjoy yourself, you may put makeup on. I'm not saying that all women put makeup on to look better, whatever the case may be, but to make yourself feel just feel good. But feeling good also attracts certain people. Same thing if a guy get his hair done versus just having a fro, whatever the case may be, or getting the line up, shape up, whatever. He looks and feels better, So, like, since the beginning of the time, man, people have done things to try to find a different mate. Now it goes, it's leaving from like actuality to social media. Social media, how can you look the best? How can you look like, instead of the Asian lady with the tight feet, instead of having the tight feet, you could do TikTok dances and then it look like you are the best dancer in the world. But in reality, you might not be the best dancer in the world. You know, instead of putting up all the makeup on all the time, now you can just put foundation on, I think, and put a filter on, or no makeup at all, put a filter on, and now you're the best looking person in the world. Like, I just think that we're not seeing that it's a shift from reality, which is weird, but a shift from reality to social media. Now social media is becoming reality, but at the same time, social media is only some people's reality, you know, and reality is some people's reality, you know. Like, once again, I think we all just think and want everyone to think and whatever the same, but the only thing you really truly can do is, if you have kids, you can just show your kids, hey, this is what I think, this is what I believe, and you help them and you guide them down a path that you think is right, but at the same time showing them social media and showing them this and showing them that, and then they just choose, you know, because at the end of the day, like, kids are their own human, you know, so they're their own person, and you could just show them. Like, do I think OnlyFans is bad and dangerous and this and that? Is war dangerous? Like, is eating awful food dangerous? Like, it's your life. You do what you choose to do, and you gotta accept the consequences of your actions at the end of the day, you know. And that's really it, man. Like, at the end of the day, if you do OnlyFans or you do this or you whatever you're doing in life, like, just enjoy it, and you know, don't let nobody tell you nothing different. But the people around you, they'll definitely try to help you and assist you as much as they can. But at the end of the day, you have to go to bed and wake up you. And if you're not happy, go do something that makes you happy. So just enjoy life, man, and be great. That's it. Just be great. Until next time, peace and love and peace.